and then in second coin it is head, or last possibility is that you may get in both the coins tail. Getting it, students? Hello.
Yes.
Okay. When you threw two coins together, you get these three possibilities. Okay. Now question is, if my success is getting head, if my success is getting head, that is getting head in a single throw of two coins, then question is, what will be the value of this head? Getting head means you can get two heads, means if we define the discrete variable x, okay, then if you are getting all the two heads, then the value will be 2. If you are getting only one head and one tail, so our value will be 1. That is x equal to 1 means you are getting only one head and in a single throw of two coins. There is a possibility that you can get no head. Means you are, when you throw two coins in a single throw, then there is a possibility that you will not come up with a head. So these are discrete variables. Okay, so these are discrete variable, and assume the value 0, 1, 2 up to number of tails. Number of tails is 2. Suppose there is a 3 coins, then the number of, the value of the discrete variable will be either 3, maximum 3 heads, or 2 heads, or 1 head, or you can get all the coins come up with the tails. So these are different values of the discrete variable. So if you are given with n trial, suppose if you are given with n trial, then the maximum possibility of the value of discrete variable will be either 0, 1, 2, or maximum you can say n. Oh, so this in this way we define the discrete variable. So let me show this one. So far we have been trying on a single trial, that is throwing once. Now when we are given trials and we are performing that one n times, suppose tossing 2 coins, 3 coins, so on n times, then question is, what would be the value of the different values of different and discrete variables. So I have given you example like this. So this is the case that I've discussed. The possibility of getting no head, getting one head, getting two head, getting and maximum 3 heads in a single throw of 3 coins. Okay, so these are the possibility when you throw once. Okay, means one head can come 3 times, either in the first or in the second or in the third. So this head is coming 3 times, you can see here. Okay, so value of 1, that is 3 times, it is 3 by 2. Okay, so in our favor there are 3 events, and total number of points in sample space is 8, so probability will be 3 by 8. So similarly we can get the probability corresponding to the different value of probability distribution, and you can say discrete variable function. So maximum is 3. When you are getting 3 heads, it comes only once. So in our favor it is 1, total points is 8, so probability will be 1 by 8. And for the case of 0 means you are getting no heads. If getting head is a success and you are getting all the tails in all the 3 coins tails, then the value will be x equal to 0, and it is coming only once. So in our favor there is only one sample point, and total number of sampling point is 8, so probability will be 1 by 8. So getting students, so this is the case when number of trials is 3. But question is, what about when number of trials larger than 1, 2, 3 and so on? Then in that case it is very difficult to calculate this probability. That is why we have 3 types of binomial distributions, like binomial, Poisson and normal distribution. Getting it, students? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so if in general we define that our discrete variable is x and it assumes the values are okay and number of trial is n, then this stands the probability, this stands the probability for the value corresponding to the discrete variable x equal to r. R may be 0, r may be 1, 2, 3 up to n. If number of trials is n, then the value that r assumes will be 0 to n. Okay, this is the probability stands for the corresponding the discrete variable x equal to r. Okay, this as you know that probability can never be 0, it will be greater than 0, and maximum and sum of the probability will constitute to 1. Means if you add the probability corresponding to all the values of discrete variable, then you will get maximum 1. If you add this one, if you add all these, you can see if you add all these things, you will get nothing but 1. You will get 1. So the sum of the probabilities corresponding to different discrete variables value, that will give you 1. Okay, so the set of values x with their probabilities constitute a discrete probability distribution. So this is the discrete distribution, probability distribution, like the frequency. And earlier we were given with x values, then f values, then we had to calculate mean, median, mode, and different things. So here we have also to calculate similar kind of mean, median, mode, standard deviation, and everything you can get for the probability distribution also. Clear, students? So these are the basic things. Now let us go to the binomial distribution. Okay, so to find the probability of happening of an event once, twice, thrice, or times in exactly n trials, then how we calculate when you are given with n trials and probabilities corresponding to different values of the discrete variable, then we have to use either binomial or Poisson. So let us talk about first binomial distribution, and this distribution is given by this x equal to r is the value of the discrete variable, so this is the probability corresponding to the discrete variable r, and the probability is given by this. What is p? P is the probability of the success. If getting head is our success in a single trial, then p will be the probability of the success. And q is nothing but is defined as 1 minus p. If you have given with the probability of success, then subtract with 1, you will get the probability of failure. Okay, because the sum of the failure, the probability of failure and success constitute 1, and accordingly you can get. So either p is given or q is given, or if you easily find the value of p or q, then you can get the value of q or p easily. Okay, so this, suppose we have n trials and happening the events, suppose any event e is r times and it's not happening n minus r, means in our favor this is r times, and it is against n minus r times, then the probability will be this for r successes. Okay, this is the formula for binomial distribution. And when you put the values of discrete variable, that is x equal to r, okay, for different values along with the probabilities corresponding to x equal to r, then this constitutes the tabular form, which is called the probability distribution. This is the probability distribution table for the binomial distribution. Okay, so why the name binomial? Because these terms are obtained by the expansion of this p plus q to the power n. That is why it's named binomial distribution. Getting it, students?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
How this C comes? Can you just explain why?
This C comes when we prove this one. When we prove this one, this is the formula. Let me show you. P plus q to the power n. It is the formula. It is this NCR. Okay, p to the power r into q to the power n minus r. This is the formula when value of the discrete variable r equal to 0 to maximum n small n. So this is in the formula. That is why it is written here this. Okay. Hello. Getting it, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay, this is in the formula. Okay, this is binomial expansion. That is why the name binomial distribution, because it's every terms is matched with the expansion of with each term of expansion of binomial expression, this p plus q to the power n. That is why its name binomial. Okay, so this term clearly successive terms in the binomial expansion. That is why its name is binomial probability distribution, and it is denoted by this. And a B stands for binomial. N is number of trial. P is the probability of the success. R is the value of the discrete variable, and this is the probability for R success. Means you can say that this is the probability of X equal to R. In other words, also. Okay, since these similar to the binomial, that is why we have written B here. B stands for binomial. Getting students? Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now question is how we apply this one. Okay, so let us take some examples. Suppose an unbiased coin is tossed 10 times. Getting? An unbiased coin is tossed 10 times. Find the probability of getting exactly 6 heads, at least 6 heads, and at most 6 heads. Clear, students? So what is the probability of tossing a coin 10 times? Okay, so suppose getting our it is here that getting head, so getting head is our success here. Getting head is success here. So suppose X stands for the getting the number of heads. Okay, in each case. That is why probability, let P the probability of getting head in a single trial. So when you throw one coin, so there is possibility either head will come or tail will come. The total number of possibilities are HT, that is 2, and in our favor it is only 1. So the probability of getting head in a single trial is 1 by 2. Now the question is when you toss 10 times, whether you throw 10 coins together or one coin 10 times, both the things is same. Okay, so question is when you toss a coin 10 times, then what is the probability that 6 head that appear? What is the probability at least 6 head will be there? What is the probability at most 6 head would be there? And what would be the probability that the heads and the number of heads lies between 3 and 8? So this is a very simple one. What we have to do is first we have to calculate the P. P means probability of success in single throw. So in a single throw, probability of getting hit is 1 by 2. The value of Q will be, as per formula, Q equal to 1 minus P. So we have calculated this one 1 by 2 half, and single coin is tossing 10 times, then the n number of tiles will be 10. Okay, so now let us find exactly 10 head, means R equals to 10. We have to calculate the probability corresponding to the discrete variable X equal to 6, means when you get exactly 6 heads in 10 trials. Okay, so how it is very difficult to calculate one if you go practically. So that is why these are formula. So as per formula for R success in binomial distribution, for R success formula is this: n is the maximum, that is 10. Put the values p, q, r and n, you will get the probability of the corresponding success. So 6 head getting 6 heads is our success. The probability of getting 6 head equal to 10 c6 1 by 2, that is p value. This is q value, this is r, this is n. When you calculate all this one, you will get 0.205. Getting students? So the probability of getting 6 head, when you throw 1.10 times, the probability will be so much. Hello? Students? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now question
Yes.
is what is the probability to getting at least 6 head? At least means 6. Maximum 6, minimum 6 head you get. Maximum you can get 7 head, 8 head, 9, and all the 10. If you throw the coins, every time you get head. So the in case at least you have to take the variables 6 onwards, including 6. So the probability of getting the heads at least 6 will be given by the sum of the probabilities getting 6 head, 7 head, 8 head, 9 head and 10 head. Getting students? Technicality at least में सबसे कम से हायर तक जाते हैं, at most में हायर से लो तक जाते हैं. So it at least 6 to 10 जाएगा. Okay, so we have calculated all the values by using this same formula. If you put r equal to 7, you will find the value. 6 पे value मिली हमें 7. When you put 7 here, you will get this. When you put 8 here, you will get this much. If you put 9 here, you will get this much. And if you put 10 here, you will get this much. So if you add all these probabilities and or you put in equation first, you will get the probability of getting at least 6 head. Means 6 head will come, 7, 8, 9 and so on may come also, but at least 6 will come there. So the probability of getting 6 head, at least 6 head, is 0.309. Is any doubt in this, students? Hello?
No, sir.
Just you have to remember the formula. Remaining cases I have not discussed. Just I will tell you here. What about getting at most 6 heads? So in case of at most 6 head, you will take the maximum to low. Means if you want to get the probability of maximum 6 head, it means 6, 5, 4, 3, 1 up to 0. Means you will have to starting from very low, and that is x equal to 0 success plus x equal to 1 success plus x equal to 2 success plus x equal to 3 success plus x equal to 4 success, 4 success, 5 success and maximum 6. So put the values here. 6 already calculated. Put the value 5, 4 up to 0. You will get the values of these probabilities and put again here in equation 2. Suppose like this, you will get the probability of at most 6 heads. Will you do this, students? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, बन जाएगा सभी से? Hello? Am I audible to you all?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now what about this one between 3 and 8? You don't have to do anything, just you take minimum 3, maximum 8. So calculate the same thing by putting the values of 3, 4, 5 up to 8. Here you have to put 8, 7, remaining you have already calculated. So put those values here. You will get the probability of getting minimum 3 head and maximum 8 heads. You will find here after calculating. Is any doubt in this, students? Hello?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Let us do some more questions. These are some questions that I have written here. Some again solved. This thing I have the same thing, 4 head in 6 tosses of a fair coin. The same problem is there. We have to calculate 6 heads. Means you have to calculate x equal to 4. Getting here in 6 tosses of a fair coin. So n small n equal to 6. Just you have to put that is 6 CR. Now in a single toss of a coin, the probability is always 1 by half, and q will 1 minus 1 by half, that is q will be 1 by half. The same thing is here, so you can do this one. I'm not going to do this one. So 6c4 you have to calculate. So it will be 4 into 1 by half. Okay, 6 minus 4. Whatever comes, that will be probability of getting 4 heads in 6 tosses of a fair coin. Will you do this, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Third question is very interesting one. If on an average 1 ship in every 10 is wrecked, in every 10 there is a average 1 ship is wrecked, means probability of getting wrecked is nothing but in our favor is 1, getting wrecked 1, total है ना, total ships are 10, so probability will be 1/10. Getting students? 1 minute. On an average, and one ship is every 10 is wrecked. Find the probability that out of 5 ships expected to arrive, at least will arrive safely. Okay, safely. 1 is wrecked, then 1 is wrecked, so 9 will be safe. So the probability of getting safe ships will be 9/10, and that the probability getting wrecked ship will be 1 minus p, that is 1/10. Getting student? Safely, probability of safely arriving the ship is 9/10, because 10 में से 1 wrecked हो जाता है तो 9 safe आएंगे, तो probability for the safely arrival will be 9/10. Is any doubt in this? Dear students, you expected to respond at least. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so out of 10 ships, okay, 1 is wrecked, so safely arriving ships, the probability will be 9/10. Now the question is, what is the probability that out of 5 ships expected to arrive? Find the probability that out of 5 ships expected to arrive, 4 at least will arrive safely. Means 10 में 4 safely arrive होंगी. What is the probability? So P is 9/10, Q equal to 1/10. Okay, now n, small n, that is 4 out of 9, means small n is 10, sorry 5, small n is 5. So the probability of getting 4, expected to 4, okay, 4 at least means maximum may be up to 5. So okay, so this one, so probability of getting 4 plus probability of getting 5 ships safely. So put the values. Okay, this is n equal to 5, r equal to 4, and put the values of p and q, you will get this much value. Getting students? Hello.
So the Q value is written wrong, na?
Where? Here?
Q should be 1/10, na? It is written 9/10. P and Q value is written same.
Yeah.
It is written wrong.
Wrong.
Yeah.
So it will be actually 1/p, p is 9.
1/10, yeah.
This will be.
That is only the mistake. That's.
Here is okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Rightly identified. Thank you. Okay. So it is typo error. So understood how to do? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So these are some questions that I have written. Similar question is there, so you can go through all those questions. Very simple questions. Okay. Now let us, an answer have also given. These are some questions. Okay. So I'm not going to do all those questions. These are very simple one. Now let us focus the main thing. Mean and variance are binomial distribution. Hello. Okay. As we did in the case of frequency distribution, we can also find mean and variance of binomial distribution in a very similar fashion. So suppose these are the values of discrete variables x equal to r, 0 up to n, and these are the probabilities. These are the probabilities. In place of frequency, probability is given here. Getting students? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. In frequency distribution, what was given? F was given, x and f was given. So then we had to compute mean and mode and everything. Here similar process there, but in place of f it is p. That is probability of for different value of r. So this is the table for binomial distribution. Okay. Now what is mean? As you know, mean is given by, if frequency is given, then you know that mean is given by the formula total f into x divided by total f, isn't it? This is the case when frequency distribution is given. So replace f by p here. n x by r means 0 up to n. So this is the formula for binomial distribution, or the you can say probability distribution is given. The mean is calculated with the help of this formula. Now we have calculated the value of r into pr. Okay, so these are the values of p and r. You have multiplied, so we have obtained this expression. Okay, students. Okay, after calculating all those things, the mean of, that is sum of r into pr, it has been obtained equal to np. And what about pr? Pr is always, as you know, that sum of the probabilities is always 1. But if you go to find out this one, you will get this much. Finally, these are the term of the binomial expression of this. And you know that p plus q equal to 1. Then probability of sum of the probability of different discrete variables, that will be 1. Okay, so if you put these values in equation, this, suppose this is capital A, then you will get the mean, and mean of the binomial distribution is coming out to be np. Getting, students? So you have to remember this formula. The mean for the binomial distribution is always n equal to p. Hello? Students?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now what is the formula for variance? So variance is given by this, as in previous, this is the same as the frequency distribution. This is f, this is x minus x bar whole square divided by total f. Similar, or if you simplify this one, you will get this much. So again we have to find this term. This is 1, this is 1, this we have already calculated, that is mean. This is something, this is mean, we have to calculate this one, r square into pr. So we have calculated this much. Okay, and you can go through all these steps, and finally we have obtained the value of this total sum of probability of r success into r square, and it is coming out to be n square p square plus npq. If you put all those values in equation this 4, then you can get the variance, and variance is always this. So standard deviation, this is the standard deviation. If you take the under root of variance, you will get the standard deviation. So you have to keep these things in mind. Okay, so np is, mean is always np, variance is always npq, and standard deviation of the binomial distribution is under root npq. Getting, students?
Yes, sir.
Now let us verify that one. Find out the fallacy of the statement. The mean of the binomial distribution is 3 and variance is 5. Is it possible? If it not, then we will get something against. Okay, so let us find out whether these values are true or false. So it is given that mean is 3. So the mean of the binomial distribution is given by np, and in question it is given by 3. So np equal to 3. And variance of the binomial distribution is npq, and it is given in question is 5. So let us find p and q, only then we can verify that is these values are true or false. So what about q? Q will be nothing. If you divide npq by np, you will get q. Okay, so npq is 5 here and np is 3, so it will be q equal to 5 by 3, which is greater than 1. And you know that probability, sum of the probabilities is always 1, so the value of p will always be less than what? 1, not greater than 1. And it is coming out to be greater than 1. It means the values which are given in here are wrong values, means this is statement false. Okay, because probability can never exceed 1. So this type of question also asked to verify validity of the data given. Getting, students?
Yes, sir.
Next question is, a die task thrice. Success is getting 1 or 6 on the task. Find the mean and variance of the number of successes. So when you task die thrice, success is getting 1 or 6 on a task. This is our success, getting 1 or 6. Okay. So how you will get success is getting 1 or 6 will be success of 1, getting 1 is 6, and getting 6 is also in our favor. So what would be 1 by 3? So probability of getting 1 by, that is 1 or 6, that will be 1 by 3. Okay, then you can find the mean and variance of the successes. Getting students? Well, this is small n equal to 3 is already given. So what we have to find, actually I'm not going to do that, just you find that you have to create the table, okay, for different successes. Okay, so for r, and you have to calculate x equal to this. So you have to calculate r equal to पे probability how much would be there, 1 पे कितनी होगी, and maximum thrice, so maximum 2 and 3. So you have to compute the probabilities of corresponding to the variables 0, 1, 2 and 3. The data is given this. Okay, so you can calculate q here. Q would be 1 by p, that is 1 by 3. Getting students? So n is here, r is here, p is here, q is here. So just you have to apply this formula, x equal to r, that is this is 3c r p to the power r q to the power n minus r, and calculate for 0 up to 3 and put this in. So you will get the this, then you can find mean and variance, or you can directly find the values npq. Npq you can calculate, that will give you the variance, and mean, that is np. So directly you can multiply n with so these are the getting students. So there are two ways, either you find all those distribution, then proceed exactly that we have proceeded, or you can directly use these results to get the mean and variance. Getting students? So these are simple question, I'm not going to discuss both this. Okay, now recurrence relation of binomial distribution. Okay, we know that binomial distribution for our success given by this. Okay, then for r plus 1 success, put r equal to r plus 1 here, you will get this much. Now divide both, divide the second and first from the second one, we will get p of r plus 1 success divided by probability of r success, and this much. If you simplify this one by using this different values of r, then you will get this relation. Okay, so this is the recurrence relation. Why is this? Suppose you are given with the probability of r equal to 2 successes, then you can get the values of the probability of 3 success. So if the probability of 5 successes is given, you can get the value probability of value of the 6 successes, and so on, with the help of this recurrence relation. So it is very easy one, just you have to calculate the values for r and r plus 1 probability, and you have to find the ratios. Okay, it's simple one. Okay, getting students? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now another type of question is asked, we have to fit the binomial distribution to the following frequency distribution. Suppose you are given with frequency distribution and you are asked to find the binomial distribution. So what you have to do then? For binomial distribution, you need n, you need p, you need q. If these things are given, then you easily calculate the probability distribution, binomial probability distribution, with the help of this formula. Getting students? But first you should have this. If p and pq are not given, but indirectly some data like this is given, then we can easily fit binomial distribution. Getting students? This is another type of question. So what you have to do is, first you have to find the mean of this frequency distribution, and you know that mean is calculated with sum f into x divided by total f. Okay, so if you multiply 0 into 28 plus 1 into 62 and so on, and divide the sum of the frequency that is 104. You will get the mean of this frequency distribution is 1.038. Understood, students? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now the question is how you find the P and Q. As you know that for the probability distribution, this X will be R and the value of R is 0 to 4 means small n will be 4. Last value is taken as small n. So small n, sorry, these are the values of discrete variables. Okay, so the frequency of the distribution which is termed as total sum equal to 104, it is given, this is n. Okay, so if you put this in formula np equal to this, then you can get easily the probability, the value of the probability, that is p is nothing but 0.0009. Getting, students? When the frequency distribution is given, then add all these things, whatever comes, that will be our n. Okay, so np equal to this much, and with the formula this, it is coming out to be this. So equate both the things, means this thing will be equal to np, this simple, and n is nothing but this total f. So you can get p from here, this much. When you get p, you can easily get q. Q means 1 minus p. If you subtract, you can get the value. Getting? Then you can fit the binomial distribution, this one. So this is binomial distribution for different values of r. Okay, r equal to 0, 1 and so on. Any doubt in this, students?
No, sir.
Okay, so whenever it is given, frequency is given, you can fit the binomial distribution. Okay, even you can get also for different values of r, you can create the table. Okay, for different values of r, you can create the table. So that will probability distribution table is there, and as we have been doing previously. So this type also you can express. Otherwise, if you find this much, that will be sufficient. Okay, so this was the binomial distribution. Now next one comes is Poisson distribution. Poisson distribution is nothing, it is the limiting case of binomial distribution. Okay, so Poisson is a particular limiting form of the binomial distribution when p is very small. When p is very small and n is very large. In binomial distribution, what is there? Probability is little bit high and n is very less. Less means n equal to 5, n equal to 10, equal to 11, this something like. So when small n is small as compared, the values of in case of Poisson distribution, you can take the binomial. And if the probability is very small and n is very large, that is suppose 100 and 500,000, something like that, 50, 70, 80. So in that case, you can apply the Poisson distribution. When it's large, you get a limiting binomial distribution, that is termed as Poisson distribution. And for that one, the value is given by this. It is coming in exponential form. So the probability of x equal to r success for the Poisson distribution, it is coming out to be m to the power r into e to the power minus n upon factorial r. What is m? M is nothing but this is the mean of the distribution of binomial distribution. This is the mean of binomial distribution. It is the same. And r is same, r value will be 0, 1, 2 and so on. So only difference is that p will be very small and n will be very large enough. Then you will apply this formula. Okay, and its derivation is simple one. Okay, if you start with binomial distribution, this is binomial distribution. Okay, and put the value of q, and q is 1 by p, this, and replace p. As you know that mean is equal to np of the binomial distribution. So if you calculate p here, you will get m by n. So replace this value p by n, and if you simplify this one, you will get the expression. When you take p is very small, and n is very, very large, then in this case you will get an expression which is termed as this e to the power minus n, and finally you will get this one. If you put this value here, you will get this much. So the finally the formula is this. So you have to remember this formula for Poisson distribution, which is the limiting case of the binomial distribution, or the case when p is small and n is very large. Similarly, you can establish a relation between two values of probabilities of Poisson distribution. So if you divide PR plus 1 by PR, this is PR value. What will be PR plus 1? So PR plus 1 will be, if you put R equal to R plus 1, so you will get m to the power R plus 1 into e to the power m upon factorial R. Okay, and if you put here, what you will get? You will get m to the power R plus 1 into e to the power minus m upon this factorial R plus 1. This will be R plus 1 here. Okay, when you put R plus 1 in place of R, you will get this much. Okay, so if you put the value here, this is the value of PR plus 1 divided by this PR. If you put this in denominator, it will go in numerator, and this m to the power R will come in denominator, and this thing will get cancelled out. If you cancel out this one, okay, so this m to the power R bit can get cancelled out, only m will be there, and you can cancel out this one. If you cancel out this one, okay, so this can be written as R into R plus 1 into this is written as this factorial R plus 1 is written as R plus 1 into factorial R. Okay, then factorial R will get cancelled out, you will get R plus 1. So it will be nothing m upon R plus 1. Okay, this equal to, so if you multiply PR both sides, you will get this much result. So it is very easy to get the recurrence relation of this. Similarly, you can get the mean and the standard deviation of the binomial distribution by using the same formula as we did for the case of binomial, this one. If you apply these formulas, this for mean, if you apply this formula, this you can get the mean of the Poisson distribution, and if you apply the same formula for the Poisson distribution, this you will get the expression that we have obtained here. So you can do all those things, but you have to remember the standard deviation is m under root m and mean is m. It is the same as the binomial distribution. Getting? So these are the some standard results that you have to remember. Getting, students? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let us do some questions on this. Okay, this. So you have to look very carefully. It is very interesting question. This type of question generally asked by Poisson distribution. Okay, so in a certain factory producing razor blades, there is a small chance of 1 in 500 blades. You can see that small and is very, very large. So in out of 500 blades, there is a possibility of one blade, that probability is very, very small here. There is chance of one blade out of 500 blade to be defective. Means 500 में एक defective है, तो probability बहुत कम हो गई ना. This is given. So probability will be what? 1 upon 500. Okay, this one. The blades are supplied in a packets of 10. Use Poisson distribution. Okay, use Poisson distribution to calculate the approximate number of packets containing no defective and 2 defective blades respectively in a consignment of 10,000 packets. So 10,000 packets if distributed, then we have to find that if in a packet of 10, the approximate number of packet that is containing no effective and 2 effective in a packet of 10 blades. Okay, if 10,000 packets are supplied, that we have to calculate here. Okay, so let us denote the discrete variable x equal to r that is to be defective blades, because we have to calculate the probability of defective. So let us denote that x equal to r, the discrete variable, okay, for the defective blades. Then probability will be 1 by 500, because it is given that out of 500 blades only one is defective. So defective probability will be 1 by 100. In our favor it is 1 and total is 500. Okay, so it will be 0.02. Small n equal to 10. What is this? This is the frequency. You can say that is capital N. If you multiply the total probability with the total number of packets, you will get the frequency of that particular probability. Okay, so calculate m, because in Poisson distribution the probability of r success is given by m to the power r e to the power minus m and upon factorial r. So for that we need m. So m is given by np, n is 10 and probability is 0.002. So hence the m is 0.02. Now let us find out probability of no defective, means r equal to 0. If r is 10 for the defective blades, then r equal to 0 means no defective. So the probability of no defective, that is the value r equal, probability corresponding to the value r equal to 0. So put the value r equal to 0 and m equal to 0.02, you will get the probability of no defective blades, and total number of packets is 10,000. मतलब 10 के 10 ब्लेड के कितने पैकेट्स हैं? 10,000 पैकेट्स हैं, और एक पैकेट में 0 मतलब सारे all the 10 blades are okay, no defective. So question is how many such packets are there? So multiply this probability of 0 defective with the total number of packets containing 10 blades, and it is coming out to be 9,802. So those packets which contains no defective, means all the 10 blades are okay, such packet, the number of such packets is 9,802. Getting, students? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now next one is two defective, means we have to calculate the probability corresponding to the discrete variable r equal to 2. So put r equal to 2 in the formula. In the formula, what is formula? Formula I have written here. Put m equal to 0.02 and r equal to 2 here. Then you will get the probability of two defective blades in a packet of 10. So we have obtained two defective blades is this. Now question is how many such packets which contain 10 blades, how many such packets which contains two defective, means 10 में से 2 defective हैं, तो how many such packets are there? So just multiply the probability of two defective with the total number of packets of 10 blades, that is 10,000. So it is coming out to be 2, means out of 10,000 packets only 2 packets are there which contains 2 blades defective out of 10 blades. Getting what I am saying? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So you can raise the question, sir, why you have not used a binomial distribution? My answer is simple, that is probability is very small. 500 में एक डिफेक्टिव, इसको क्या कहोगे आप? बहुत स्मॉल. हाँ, ये हो सकता था कि 500 में से 400 आर डिफेक्टिव, देन we would say that probability would be very high. So in that case you would have used the binomial distribution. Okay, so and small n is very large, you can see 500. It suppose it 20, then it's not okay, we would use the binomial distribution. But in such cases when probability is very small and small is very high, you have to go with this Poisson distribution. Getting, students? Hello?
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Can you go before slide means that example?
This one?
No, sir. Before means binomial distribution.
Okay, where?
Yeah, this one 11.
Okay. Yes. Tell me what problem with this?
No, just I want to see this N and P.
Okay, okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any doubt? Okay. As we did for the binomial case, that we can fit, if the frequency distribution is given there, you can obtain the probability distribution also, as in the case of binomial. So such questions also are in this section also. So we can fit, I have taken one of the examples, and similar example you can do. So we have to fit the Poisson distribution to this frequency distribution, and we have to compare with the theoretical frequencies with the observed frequencies. Okay, so these are the frequencies that we are given with. Whatever is given, that is the observed one. Theoretical we can calculate by using the probability distribution. Okay, so these are the observed frequencies. Okay, so how you have to find, as we know that the formula for Poisson distribution is nothing but for our success, e to the power minus m into m to the power r upon factorial. Also we need to calculate m, means. So the means of this frequency distribution can be defined at mean means. For the frequency distribution, it is total f into x upon total f. Okay, so we have calculated this much. Okay, but it is given that for binomial distribution mean is np, so we will have to equate both of them. So we have equated the mean of the Poisson distribution, okay, with the actual that we have obtained here. Okay, so np equal to, we have obtained so much. So mean is 1.034. okay, whether you write np or not, because in Poisson distribution there is no role here is p. Okay, so it is m and m is mean, so we can calculate this one directly. Now question is, what is the Poisson distribution? Now this is the formula for our success. Put the value of m and run the values of r running from 0 to what? 0 to 5, 0, 1, 2 and so on. So if you find using this probability distribution, you will get a theoretical frequencies. So for R0 success, the Poisson the theoretical frequencies which is obtained through the Poisson distribution is so much. How? Just you have to multiply it with the probability. Suppose you want to find out what is the frequency of 0 success. So just you have to multiply it by total frequency, that is 410. Okay, so it is 145.96, but actually which was observed, it is 150. So these observed and theoretical frequencies do not necessarily to be the same. These may be different, but total sum will be the same. Okay, similarly you can get for one success, it is the probability this, if you multiply it by 4 and 10, you will get the frequency of this probability, and it is given 154, here it is given 150. So you can find the theoretical frequencies and so on. But the total, if you sum all these frequency, then the value will be approximately 1410. It will be approximately 4 and 0. But particular success frequency may be different. Okay, so observed and theoretical never match it. This you have to remember. But total frequency, the sum will be the same. So these are the frequencies or distribution that we have obtained using Poisson distribution, and this was given with this, which is the frequency distribution. So such type of distribution is also need to be calculated. What is given, that is observed. What we have obtained, that is theoretical. Any doubt, students? Hello.
No, sir.
Okay.
No, sir.
These are some questions for a practice. Please do this. This is a very simple question. It is probability is already given. Okay, so if the probability that an individual suffers a bad reaction from a certain infection is 0.001, this is the probability. This is the probability, that is P, getting affected by certain disease or injection. Determine the probability that out of 2000 individuals. Okay, this is the frequency, that is capital N, you can say. So what is the number of, determine the probability? We have to calculate the probability that out of this individual, this month, this will suffer a bad reaction. So we have given P. Okay, we have given P and we have given N is very, very large. Here it is small n because we are considering probability distribution. So this is small n. So out of 200, n is very, very large. That is why we are using Poisson distribution. So out of 2000, we have to calculate that exactly 3 will suffer, with this exactly, 3 will suffer with the certain type of injection. So you can calculate for x equal to 3. Getting, students? But first you have to calculate mean, and mean you have to calculate with the help of NP. Okay, so just multiply this 2000 to 0.01, you will get the value of m, and put in this m to the power r into e to the power minus n upon factorial r. Put the value m and r, you will get the probability of exactly 3% who are getting affected with a certain type of injection. So these are type of question that is very simple. Again, razor blade question. You can see this is very simple. This time it is given in percentage, 0.5%. Probability out of 10. Okay, so the probability will be this much. Okay, so you can do all those things. You can fit the distribution also. Any doubt in this? Any question that you want before we jump into the normal distribution, dear students?
Sir, in question 1.
In question 1, this one.
This one. How to find out more than one individual?
Oh, more than one individual. What we have to do is, more than one, you have to calculate. More than one means more than 2, that is value of x when it is more than 2. This you have to calculate. So what we have to do is just calculate the probability and subtract with 1, that is 1 minus probability of 0 success, probability of 1 success, and probability of 2. It is more than 1, so you have to go till probability of 2 success. Find out the probability of 0, 1 and 2 success. Add these things and subtract from 1. Okay, because 2000 तक तो अपन जा नहीं सकते, तो another way क्या है आपका, 2 तक निकालिए, 1 subtract कर दीजिए. So this will be probability of more than 2. Getting?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this is very simple one. Any other doubt?
So, sir, hello.
Your voice is not clearly audible.
Hello.
Yes. I can hear you, but not clearly.
Okay. What I'm going to ask, like here, the P2 is required. I think it's up to P1 is good enough.
Yeah. What?
Probability for 2.
Probability for 2. Exactly 2, na?
No, for D. More than one individual.
More than one individual, no? You will have to subtract up to here.
Yes.
You will not have to. 2 will not be there. Yeah, 2 will not be there in that case.
Yes.
Okay. And in case of none, what you have? None means probability of 0 success, Probability of 0 success. Thus, you simply R put R equal to 0. Thus, e to the power minus m into m to the power 0 upon factorial 0. Just simply you have to calculate e to the power minus m, whatever be the m. Any other doubt?
Sir, in question number 2, we can solve this by binomial distribution also.
Manifested no. A certain on an average 0.5% of defectives. What will be the probability? Tell me. This is the probability. This is the percentage, 0.5 percentage. It means it means how much? This much. 5 upon. It is very, you know, probability is very small, na? How can you use it? Then probability is very 1005. It is very less, na?
Yes.
So we can use only poison. Okay. Getting? हाँ सपोज ये होता कि 5 में 10, 5 out of 10 you can say that है ना, or 1 out of 2, so these are very large, so then you can, but here it 1005, there and very difference, lots, you know, major difference there. Okay. Should I go ahead? Ask, otherwise.
1 minute, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, in question number 11, there is n is equals to 104.
Where 11? 11 means?
Question number 11, that binomial distribution, that example.
Wait a minute, let me go that one. Yeah. Yes.
In this, n is 104.
Huh? 104. Total sum of this one.
Here also we can apply this Poisson distribution.
Poisson here.
Yes.
Probability, calculate the probability. How much is this? Yeah, you can apply, but yes, because probability is very, very small, you can say. No?
Yes, sir.
Means if I calculate this one, it will be something like this. But it is very much large, 99, 100 and 10,000. Okay. It is not very, you know, large, you can say.
Okay,
so you can try, but if it is given with binomial, it is better to use binomial, but yes, you can try and you can verify the result, how much the difference in the answer. Okay.
yes, sir.
It is the work of research. You can do this one. Let us find out the difference by using the same problem, using two different distribution. What is the difference there? Okay, that is the research problem. Okay.
Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So, like here, recently we are discussing one example.
Actually, whatever I can't hear correctly because your voice is cracking. You know, lots of noises in background.
Okay, sir. Okay. No issue.
I don't know why it's so. Not clearly audible. Your voice is not clearly audible. You try once more. Unmute.
Hello. Now it's
Yes,
better.
Not better, but yes, go ahead.
So, like recently we are discussing one example where we have 200 sample or n is 200. Last example which we are discussing.
Where?
Last.
This.
Last.
Poison?
Yeah. Yes. Not this also. The very recent one where we have 200.
Okay. Previous one. Which one?
Yeah, this one, sir.
Oh. 2000. Yes, 2000.
So here we just find out more than one individual. This method 1 minus P0 plus.
Yeah. More than one, that we have to find the probability more than one individual. Okay, probability for more than one individual means. Okay, so what you have to do is we cannot go to the 0 to every number, so just we will go to indirectly, that is 1 minus and a probability of 0 and 1.
Yes.
If it is given greater than or equal to, then you will not have to this, more than. Okay, so you will have to drag in that, but it is not included now, so you have to add here also. Okay, getting?
Yeah, same way, suppose we have n is equal to suppose 8. Example.
Oh yeah, probability. Suppose x equal to 8. Okay, yes.
So in that case, if anyone asks the probability of more than 2, suppose.
More than 2, yes.
Can we do the same apply here 1 minus?
Yeah. I have written here. This you can see. I have written
for small n also.
For small and also every concept will be the same. Concept will be the same whether it is binomial or Poisson. Concept will be the same for less than, more than, and equal to. But the question is which distribution to be used. That distribution depends on the number of trials and the probability. If the probability is very small and is very large, then you will have to go with the Poisson, otherwise binomial. But concept will be the same for less than, greater than, or equal. Okay. This is more question. Welcome student. Before we go to the binomial and normal distribution, which is the last distribution, that is pretty simple and interesting. Any more questions? Hello.
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So let us jump into the binomial distribution, normal. And so far we have been studying discrete probability distribution. Means values where integer, means it was either 0, either 1, 2, 3. It was not 1.5, success of 1.5. But if such problems also come in picture, then that is probability between 0 and 1, probability of 0.5. In that case, we cannot use the discrete distribution, or when given a range 0 to 1 where integer is not possible. So in that case, continuous distribution, that is normal distribution, is used. And the normal distribution is achieved as a limiting form of binomial distribution when the number of tiles is very large and neither p nor q is very small. Here the condition is n is okay, very large, but neither p nor q is very small. Okay, so this based on this statistical concept, its curve has been given, and which is given by the equation number 6. It is already a standard curve, okay, where mu is the mean of the distribution and sigma is the standard deviation, okay, and x is the discrete variable. This will not is this will be variable which is continuous variable. This is continuous variable. Okay, because it assumes the values in some range. It is given there. Okay, so you have to this is the standard curve for normal. When you draw this one you the shape will be thus this symmetrical curve. This symmetrical curve is this. Okay, in case of normal distribution. Okay, so the area under curve from x equal to, suppose this is the curve. Suppose this is the curve. Suppose this is x equal to 1. This is suppose x equal to 2. Then question is, what would be the probability when this is given, that is distribution is given like this? Then what is the probability of getting the probability between two variables x1 to x2? Okay, so this probability will be this much. This area will give you the probability of between these two variables. Okay, so there is a standard table which has already been constituted. I will share with you. Either you integrate this whole thing, but integration is very difficult. So you can use the table. You can use the table for different values or range of the values the table has been designed. So instead of integrating this one, we try to find out the value of this integral by using the table in the certain range. Okay, that I will give you. Okay, so this is the probability that give you variable which lies between two values, x equal to 1 and x equal to 2. Okay, in the middle the area will be 0.5%. you can say this 0.5 and 0.5 here. Okay, so this entire area is taken as 1, and if you divide from middle, so same area you will get. So negative values for probability for the negative values we can calculate with the positive values, because table is given for the positive values, not negative values. Since that this is symmetric, so the all negative values corresponding the negative values we calculate positive values. Okay, because area will be the same. The area between this x1 x2 will be the same if we draw here also. So in that case we can use the table. Okay, so instead of integrating this integral, we use the table. I will show the table later on. Okay, this one. So the total area is always 1, as I stated that if you integrate this one, if you integrate this y, means this whole thing, if you integrate, then you will get the value 1, because this is the probability. Now probability is always 1, so this is the probability for normal distribution. So if you integrate between minus infinity, because this is minus infinity and here is plus infinity, so if you integrate this whole thing between minus infinity to plus infinity, you will get 1. So this whole area that constitute 1. Okay, this is the probability. So probability in normal distribution is obtained with the area. Okay, and this area, or you can say probability, is given by the table. I will show you. Here we take some values. Okay, if we consider x minus mu upon sigma equal to z, if you see here, if you consider this thing, this x minus mu upon sigma, if you consider this is z, so it will be minus z square upon 2. Okay, so I have written this here. Okay, this, if you put those things, then you will get the, so this is z variable and this is related to x, this one. So when x equal to mu here, z will be 0. So when x equal to mu, z will be 0. So this can be shifted to this one. Okay, this one. So for this, the figure of the same curve will be this much. So for x equal to mu, means this y-axis will represent x equal to mu. This will be x equal to mu. Okay, students. So this is x equal to mu, means z equal to 0. So this is the a little bit change that had been. This formula is basically taken and the table corresponding to this formula is given. Okay, so here mean becomes 0. Okay, if you put mean equal to 0, then x will be z here. Okay, and standard deviation will become 1. In that case, if you mu is 0 and x equal to z, then sigma should be 1. That is why this curve coincide with this one. So the area under the curve is divided in two parts, as I have already said you, left to 0 and right to 0, 0.5 and 0.5, the same as here also. Okay, now question is how the area calculated, how the area is calculated. I will show you now. So area under the normal curve, in each of the case we have to calculate it. Okay, so z equal to 0, between z equal to 0 and z equal to 1.2. So area is this much. The question is how you have calculated this one. Okay, the table which is given, that table is given from 0 to that point. From 0 to that point. Okay, so what we have to do from table, that we have to calculate z equal to 0 is this one, corresponding to 0 the value will be this much. Now what you have to do is just you have to see that and the probability corresponding to the z equal to 1.2, z equal to 1.2, then the area that whatever that will be, that will be represented by this one, and this value is 0.3849. okay, so the area between z equal to 0 and z equal to 1.2 is given by this one. Let me show you how this. Okay, if I can show you the table. This one. So I will show you this table. Dear students, is it visible to all, this table? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is the table. This table represents from 0 to that point. That is 0 to Z. Okay. So if you see here, our problem is here to calculate 0 to between you can see like this, 0 between 0 to 1.2. So it is 0.33849. So let me show you 0 to 1.2. This is 1. This is 1 0. Okay. So 1.2. So go to the 1.2. 1.2 is where 1 point this 1.2, and it is in 1.2. So we will take 1.20. So 1 corresponding to 1.20, it is 0.3849. Means this is the area from 0 to that point. Getting, students? So without integrating, we can directly find the value of the area under the curve between z equal to 0 to 1.2. It means 1.2 means 0 to something. If it was 1.3 means 0 to 1.3. So area is 0.3849. So 0.8349 you can see here. Getting, students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. Echo. Now next one is, what is the area between minus 0.68 to z0? Again, as we know that it is symmetric, so instead of finding out between minus to 0, you will calculate 0 to plus 0.68, between 0 to 0.68. Getting what I'm saying? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then the area corresponding to here, if it is here 0.68, then this will be same area as this one. So because table for negative value is not given, but it is symmetrical, so that much area will be the same in the right hand side also. So instead of calculating minus 0.6, you have to calculate 0.68. You have to go for this one. So let us find out the area between 0 to 0.68, and it will be the same as the area between minus 0.68 to z equal to 0. 0.68 to z equal to 0. Getting, students? So instead of this one we will get, so let us find out 0.68. So 0.6 is this, 0 point is this, and 0.68 this. So 0.6 this up to here. Okay, students. So 0.6 it means how much? 0.2518 it is. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, 0.6, one place and second place is here. So it is 0. This is the area between 0 to 0.6. It means 0.2518. So let us see here. Here this one. Getting? So this area will be the same as the area between this one. So it will be the same as 0.2518. Okay, so negative corresponding to the negative values, we have to calculate with the positive values. Getting, students? Hello?
Yes.
Now question is one important question that I'm going to ask you all. Now tell me, any one of you. Suppose we want to calculate the area corresponding to this one. This, okay. I'm going to ask this question. It's very important. Now tell me, how will you calculate? Anyone? Suppose this is normal curve. This is normal curve. Let me draw first one. We have to, this is z equal to 0. Now we have to calculate, that is minus z equal to 0.46 to z equal to 2.21. We have to calculate this area. How will you calculate? Anyone can tell me?
0 to 0.46.
0 to 0.26. That's good. Yes, then
0 to 2.21.
Plus.
Yes.
That's good. That's good answer. Okay. This is the way to find. Okay, because we have to add this area now. So instead of minus 0.46 to 0, you will calculate with this 0.0 to 0.46. So let us find out this area. What would be this area? This area, that is 0.46. This is 0.4 and this is 6. This one. This. How much? 2454. 2454. 2454. Getting, students? This much. Okay. So this value, so this becomes 0.2454. Area can never be 0. Okay. That's now next one is between 0 to 2.21. So let us find out 2.21. So 2.2. This is 2.2. And we have to get here 0.01. That is this second column. Second 2.121. This one. Okay. This 4865. 4865. So if you add these two things, 0.48. Yes.
0.46, you have taken some wrong value. This.
Okay. 2.21. 2.21. This will be.
No, sir. For 0.46.
Oh, for point. Okay. Let me check. 0.46. This is 0.4. This is 0.4. Okay, and 6. This should be, oh, here. Yeah. Wrongly. 1772. 1772. This will be 1770. 0.1772. So you can add this value here correctly. So if I delete this one, 1772. So 1772 this one. So how much you will get? 767366. Is it okay? So this is the area that will be corresponding to this whole thing. This area is equal to this much. Okay. So this is the way to find out, or using the calculating the area under normal curve for different, whether it is negative or positive values. I think concept will be clear to all.
Yes, sir, but I have a doubt. Like why we are calculating this area?
Actually, these are probability, na? These are probability. What this is the probability? Probability for the variables. How much? Area means probability. These are the area, but it is corresponding to the probability. Actually, we are calculating the probability with the help of area.
Okay.
It means what you have ever obtained 0.6637. It is the probability when the Z lies between minus 0.46 to 2.21. This is the probability for that one. Probability of the variable Z when Z lies between minus 0.6 to 2.21. Okay. So in normal distribution, there is standard table, because it is a symmetrical curve. Anything which is symmetrical can be given some standard results. So that is why this table helps us. Without integrating, we can calculate the area under this curve between any two variables. Getting students?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now these are some questions. Let us, these very simple questions. Okay, very interesting questions. So let me explain one or two questions. Let me first plain paper. Okay, now. Okay. So this first question, students of a class were given an aptitude test. Listen carefully, students. Okay, students of a class were given an aptitude test. Their marks were found to be normally distributed. Means their marks was something like this, which follows the normal curve, like this. आप लोगों का जो रिजल्ट बनता है ना, वो सब नॉर्मल कर्व पे ही तो हम लोग देते हैं. मतलब उसका जो मीन आया है वो नॉर्मल कर्व को फॉलो कर रहा, मतलब ऐसा कुछ आया है. Something like this has been obtained. Normally distribution means curve. If you plot the data, you will get the normal curve. This the question wants to say. Okay, so their marks were found to be normally distributed with mean 60 and standard deviation 5. Means mean is 60, that is mu is 60, and standard deviation, that is this, is how much? This is 5. What percentage of students scored more than 60 marks? More than 60 marks. This is 5. The question is, what is the value the students who are getting the marks greater than 60 marks? Means the value what is given, that is x value. As we know that we have to calculate corresponding to x more than 60 marks. Okay, so this is, so the value of more than 60 marks we have to calculate. 60 marks, more than 60. Okay, this is, so value what is given, that is x. As we know that z is given by this x minus mu upon this. Getting students? First we have to calculate z, then we have to take the help of the table to calculate the probability or the number. So let us see this one. Okay, so it is clear that the variable is 60, the normal variate x equal to 60. Okay, this mark is 60, mu 60, it is already given, and the standard deviation is 5. Getting students? Hello? Yes, whatever given in question, that is the values of x, yes, sir, mu and sigma. Okay, now standard normal variate, which is z. Z is nothing but standard normal variate, and which is given by the value x minus mu and sigma. If you put all those values, you get z equal to 0. Okay, so it means if we are saying that more than x is more than 60, means z is more than 0. Getting students? Hello?
Yes, sir.
When we talk about more than 60, means x is more than 60, and you have calculated z value 0. It means whenever we are talking about x more than 60, it means z more than 0. Okay, so means right hand side, an area laying in the right hand side of z, that is this, more than z, greater than 0, means we have to calculate this area. And you know what is the value of this area, this entire right hand side? Anyone can tell without helping the table? 0.5. So the probability for the variate when z is greater than, it is always fixed, that is 0.5. Okay, this is getting this. Now question, what is the percentage? Percentage is just multiplied by 100%. 0.5 multiplied by 100%, that will be 50%. So 0.5 means 50%. So percentage of a student getting more than 60 marks will be 50%. So whatever the students are there, okay, so they are getting 50% mark, more than 60% mark, that is 50% students are getting more than 60 marks. Getting students? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next question, that will also clear your doubts more. The mean weight of 500 students, here number is given, okay, is 63. Mean means this is given mu, and the standard deviation 8 kg means this is sigma is given. So assuming that the weights are normally distributed, you can apply normal distribution only when this type of words are associated with the questions. Distribution is, if distribution is binomially distributed, then you cannot apply. Distribution should be normally distributed, only then you can use the concept of normal distribution. Then we have to find how many students weigh 52. ऐसे कितने स्टूडेंट हैं जिनका वजन 52 kg है. The weights are recorded to nearest kg. Means आपको जिस 50 पॉइंट समथिंग है 50 कह सकते हैं, ठीक ना. जैसे 60.67 है तो you can say that 61 nearly kg complete. Okay, this is saying. So here mu 63, standard deviation is sigma is 8, normal barrier is 52. We have to find the corresponding to this value, so this value will be x. So now let us find out standard normal barrier z, and its value is x minus mu by sigma. Getting students? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, क्योंकि इंटायर कैलकुलेशन हमें जेड पे करनी है ना, तो जो क्वेश्चन में दिया जाएगा तो एक्स म्यू सिग्मा दिया जाएगा, लेकिन जो कैलकुलेशन करनी है हमें जेड पे करनी है. तो पहला काम है एक्स को आइडेंटिफाई करना, म्यू को आइडेंटिफाई करना और सिग्मा को आइडेंटिफाई करना और जेड कैलकुलेट करना. दिस इज द फर्स्ट टास्क. बाकी तो सब इजी है, टेबल से निकाला जाएगा. नाउ लेट अस फाइंड आउट. ओके, इट इज सेड दैट nearly, okay, nearly. So what is 52? Actually 52 is not actually 52 can be written to 51.2 also. 52 can be written 50.58 also. 52 can be written as 50.67 also. So it is written. Find how many the weights are recorded to the nearest kg. Means 52 is not 52, it will be less than 52 or it may be greater than 52, nearly 52. So we have to take two values. We have to take two values to calculate the area, finite area. We should have with two values of x. So it is one value, but it is given that it is nearly recorded, means it is not correct. So we have taken as per our wish, but it should be not greater than large enough difference. So I have taken 51.65. First value of 52, that is x1, is 51.65. Second value I have written more than this one. Okay, so you can say here it is I 65 लिया मैंने, इससे थोड़ा सा कम ले सकते, 45 ले सकते थे हम, 45. Okay, it is wrongly written here. 50.45 you can take. Okay, you can take 52.45. okay, if you round up that one. Suppose it is written 65. Okay, so if you subtract this one, you get this value, z1 equal to minus this, z2 equal to this much. Okay, then you have to find the probability between z1 and z2. Getting students?
Sir, can you please tell one more time that 51.65 how to take?
Actually it is given that 52 is nearly, it is not 52 but it is nearly 52. So we have to take such values that after round up you can get 52. So 52 rounded up in two ways. First way is 51 point, you can take more than 5, that is suppose we have taken 65, 75 you can take 85 also. And another way is taking greater than 52 but nearly 52. So you can choose it at 52.25, 52.45 also, not more than 0.5. Okay, so when you round off it you will get 52. When you round off this you will get again 52. So we have to take very near value to 52. Getting now? So that is why I have written 4.5. Suppose this is 4.5. Okay, hello?
Clear, sir.
Okay, so we have obtained two values. This out of these we have to calculate between z1 and z2. The question is between minus 1.4919 and minus 1.294, what would be the area? what would be the area? So area would be like this. नेगेटिव वैल्यू के लिए हम पॉजिटिव से कैलकुलेट करते हैं. So area will be this. Two negative values. Suppose there are two negative values here. First value is, okay, suppose this is normal curve and you have to find the values, okay, for minus 1.419. Okay, and second value is 1.294. One point 1.294, sorry, 1.294. It is 94. Okay, it is 94. Okay, so these are two values. Okay, suppose this value is Z1 and this value is Z2. So we have to calculate this area. तो क्या करेंगे हम? We will have to find out positive values first. So first you have to calculate this. This is negative, so 1.294, and then you have to calculate this 1.419. Okay, so this is negative, so you have to calculate with the positive value. So first you have to calculate this area corresponding to this value, then you will subtract this one. Getting what I'm saying? So we want to get this area. To get this area, first we have to calculate this entire green part. You have to calculate green portion, then you have to calculate this pink portion, and then you have to subtract a red portion to this pink portion to get this value, this yellow value. We have to calculate yellow area, and this yellow area will be corresponding to this yellow area. Getting, students? Hello?
Yes,
sir. Sir, explain once.
Okay. Let me explain one thing. Suppose this is normal curve. Okay, we have been given two values. Z1 equal to minus 1.419, and this is Z2. Z2 equals to what? Minus 1.249. Getting? So we have to calculate the area, that is probability between Z1 and Z2. Getting? That is this. This is the area. This area. This yellow area. This I am saying. This is yellow area. We have to calculate, but it is in the left hand side. But in the table, the values are tabulated for the positive values. So what we have to do is, since it is symmetric curve, so instead of finding for negative values, we will go for the positive value. So suppose this is 1.24. This will be somewhere. Z1 is equal to 1.249. Okay, and here somewhere here it will be Z2, which will be this value 1.419. Okay, so our main aim is to calculate this yellow area, means yellow area between these two things. This we have to calculate. This is our area. This is our main area that we want to calculate. Okay, this is our main area. So how we can calculate this one? This can be calculated with calculating. First we will calculate Z2 0 to 1.419. that is, first we have to calculate this entire thing. I'm going to color it. First we have to calculate this entire area, and this entire area is given by this. Getting, students? Hello?
Yes, sir.
And let us find what is this 1.419. 1.419. 1.4 is this 1.419, and 19 will be something this much, this, because second place तक value है. So 4207. 4207. Getting, students?
Yes, sir.
4207. Okay. Now next one we have to calculate this thing, that is this portion. If I give a pink color, this we have to calculate this one also, and this area is nothing but this is area 0 to Z1. Okay, 0 to Z, and Z1 is how much? 1.294, and its value will be what? 1.09. 1.2, this is 1.2, this is 9. Where 9 is this last one, so 1.29, this last one, this one 40 15 40 15 40 15. Okay, now our main aim is to calculate this what red area. Suppose our main aim is to calculate this one, this is corresponding to this area. So what we have sorry, not full one, but this much, this one, only this one, this. So this can be calculated if you subtract this whole area with the pink area, whole this green area minus this pink area, you will get red area which will be corresponding to this area. Okay, so you subtract minus this one 0.14 15, whatever it is coming, that will be corresponding to this red one, and this will be equal to this. Okay, so probability of this will be that much. So we have calculated this thing. Okay, this is getting, students. So this is the process of getting this one. This everything is written here, you can see. Okay, when you have obtained the probability between these two variables, then multiplied by 500 students, then you will get the number of those students whose weight is nearly 52. That is 10 students are such that whose weight is 52, nearly 52. This is the concept. So first find the probability, then multiply the total frequency, you will get the total number of student lying corresponding to that frequency, matlab in probability. Okay, so this is 10 students are weighing 52 kg approximately. Any doubt in this, students? Hello?
Sir, if we change the approximate value, then our calculation will be changed.
Not much difference, because we cannot deviate large. If we have taken 52.45, so you cannot take 52.89. Now it will be very large one. You have to take nearly 52. So you can change 45 to 35. You can change to 52.25, but not you can change 52 to 89. Okay, it will go to the 53, nearly 53. That will not be counted in 52, but it will count in 53. Okay, so answer will be the same, approximately same answer. Okay, if number of student is coming out to be 9.9 something, you can say it is equal to 10. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So this is another question I'm not going to discuss. You go this one. This again, this is for our practices. If you feel any difficulty, you can discuss me. These are very simple questions. Okay, percentage में दिया गया यहाँ पे 10%, 40%, and this one. So you can go through these solve examples. Okay, there are lots of examples of every variety question in normal distribution is given, so you can go through. Now this one, as we fit the distribution in the case of binomial and normal, we can also fit the normal distribution also. If the frequency distribution given, then we can calculate the normal distribution also, probability distribution. Okay, so here we have taken a shortcut method we have used here. You can also calculate directly mean, total sum. You can calculate mean equal to total f of x upon total f. Getting, students? Either you can take some middle value, then you can apply the formula. It is formula for the mean as well as the standard deviation. That is why we have taken this 8.56. Okay, approximately in the middle, so that our calculation becomes more easy. This is, so these are the value when you use shortcut method. Assume mean plus and this total FD upon F. If you put this one, so mean is this, and standard deviation, this is the result, as we talked about in our median mode section. So standard deviation, that is sigma, is coming out to be this 0.0176. Okay, this. Hence the normal distribution, as you know that normal distribution is nothing but 1 upon something, and sigma into so much e to the power minus x minus mean, e to the power minus x minus mean upon 2 into sigma square. Okay, so if you put all those value here of mu and sigma, you will get the Poisson distribution. This is binomial distribution, okay, corresponding to the variable x. When you replace this thing as z, then you will get e to the power minus z square by 2. Okay, then that becomes p of z. Okay, so that is not much difference. And when we do the calculation numerical, we take z values, because in that case we have to apply the table apply करने के लिए z लेना पड़ेगा आपको, पर fit में तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है. These are some practice problems. Okay students, now your turn. If you have any doubt, you can ask. Hello.
Hello, sir.
बोलिए sir.
In formula you added a.
This is shortcut method. There are two methods of calculating mean. When you directly calculate, so mean is given by total f into x upon total f. Okay, getting?
Yes, sir.
But when you take shortcut, means when you take assumed mean and you take the deviation from this one, so instead of that one, the formula becomes this. You have to add a. Instead of x, you have to take d, but you have to add a. This is shortcut method. It reduces your lever. It reduces lever.
Okay.
But if you go direct method, you can get the same result. You can check it. Being a research scholar, you can verify the result, because you have to verify the paper also, na. So you can verify this result by direct and indirect or shortcut method. Result will be the same. Little bit few decimal, that is okay.
Okay.
So any question, doubts, student welcomes. Today is our last session, and I will give you date. We will conduct a test online. I will give you the time and date. Accordingly, you keep preparing one question from each chapter. Whatever we have discussed will be there. Okay, so keep studying. I will inform you 1 week before.
So,
yes.
So any question bank?
Eh?
Any question bank you will give?
Questions, I will upload the PPT, and lots of questions are there, and also I will upload PPT of some book SK Das, so you can go through that one, or you can prefer rather, because loading the book is not allowed, so I prefer you that is HK Das or BS Grewal. Lots of questions are there, and in my PPT also lots of questions are there. I will upload this one by correcting this. There are some typo error. So I will upload, and you can get lots of questions, and question will be based on similar style. Not same, but the similar. Okay. Hello. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
So will you upload that standard deviation table also?
Yeah. Everything I will upload. Today I will upload after correcting this PPT. There are some typo errors, so that you may not get somewhere stuck.
Okay.
Sir.
Yes.
If you whenever we have the test, if you intimate us 1 week before, that will be good for preparation and all.
I told you, whenever date I will decide, I will inform you 1 week earlier. Suppose I told you today, it means after 1 week your test will be conducted. Don't worry, you will have, but keep preparing. Keep this fact in mind, that is, you are going to face the test tomorrow.
Yes, sir, yes.
Something like that. Okay.
Yes.
So that question means will be MCQ types, or we have to
no, written descriptive type question would be there. I will release the rules and regulations what to be followed in a day or two, or within this week or next week. I will release what is the rule, how much marks, what is the time, what is the date, what type of questions.
That will be considered under assignment part, or that will be
no. I'm not going to give you assignment, but I'm going to give and take a test. Okay, that will be final. Hello.
So give us a question bank now.
Question banks. Questions are there are plenty of questions in PPTs, and I will give some more questions. Okay. At the end of every PPT, you can see 4, 5, 6 questions. So these are, you can consider these questions as a question bank. And question will be based of single type of question. And just you go to you practice the questions. Okay, you practice the question, and similar question will be there. Okay, if nothing is there, then we finish this one. Satish sir, are you there?
So derivations also be asked in exam.
Just you verify those derivations. Simple one. Simple recurrence relation I can ask. Okay, I can ask recurrence relation. So this the simple question that can be concluded. Those questions which take 1 hour, that I'm not going to give you. Question that can be solved within 10 minutes, that I'm going to give you. So recurrence relation, fitting curves, these are very simple. These are can be done within 10 minutes. Okay, so not very big question will be there, but those questions which can be solved within 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes. And these are questions, not big question there. Okay, if you practice then you can do within 10 minutes, not more than that. Who's next lecture?
Sir, we have break.
Oh, you have break. Okay, so should I stop here? You can inform the next teacher who is going to take. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, students.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you so much.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.